Yo, what's going on everyone? It's Lou from Lou's Life and welcome back to another video. Mate, so we did actually get Mortal Kombat Battle of the Realms today. I have watched it and I will be honest, my review is going to be everywhere because I don't know how I feel about this. It is definitely a... There's so many things that I want to say about this film already. And for a film that is not very long at all, it just feels like they just tried to cram in too many things at once. I feel like they could have made this into a two-parter, or they could have spreaded this out into like a few other films after this one. I feel like it's also contradicting itself, like in points of the story. It's literally just everywhere, so I'm really not too sure how I feel about it, but I'm just gonna get straight into it because I feel like it's mainly rushed. The whole film is basically rushed. The fight scenes are rushed, the story's rushed. Even you could even see this, literally I waited till after the credits just to see if they've done like a Marvel thing, or they've done like an after credit scene or anything like that. They didn't, but I couldn't help to notice that they actually misspelt some of their own character names. You have Kuai Liang as Kuai Lang. And they've also got Liu Kang is spelt differently as well. That's not how it's actually spelt. So maybe that's, maybe they're changing it again, like compared to how it used to be. Like you had Raiden spelt differently, whereas Rayden. Now they've changed it to I instead of a Y. So maybe this is the start of how they're gonna start pronouncing it. Who knows? But it was just a really weird. I'm surprised that the creators of Mortal Kombat are actually involved in this, and they haven't actually pick this up. You're not gonna they're not gonna be able to they're not gonna be able to do a patch note for this. You're not gonna be able to have an update come up anytime soon, and these things are gonna be rectified. So first things first, I actually want to talk about is the new additions to the films. So we've got on the Earthrealmers side, we have Kung Lao, and we also have Striker. Now the things that I love the fact that they were in it. Don't get me wrong, I love the fact that these guys are in it, especially Kung Lao. I love Kung Lao. He's such a great character. It's very interesting to me. And I know that there's a big fan base for Striker. But to be honest, the way that they were introduced was so bootleg. I know that you shouldn't really go into a film expecting certain things, but the thing is for me that I wasn't expecting that. I thought we was going to see this film take place shortly after the after Scorpion's Revenge. Maybe that you see them coming off from the boat, and shit's just getting real, as it is. All the Tarkatans and the Outworlders are just going in on Earthrealm, but that's just not the case. You don't actually see how Jax gets his arms. So you just have to just use your own imagination, which again, that's not really the problem, but it's just the fact how, for me, with Striker being there, it doesn't actually add up to why he's there. Or suddenly he's introduced, you see Striker coming out from a plane with Jax, and Jax is being part of the Special Forces, and Striker is part of SWAT. So, and then your Striker is actually just trying to understand what is actually going on, why it's happening, and so on and so forth. So it raises a question as to why he's actually there. Why was he picked, or any of those kind of questions? It hasn't really explained it very well. I thought they could have definitely dived into that a little bit more as well. Now with Kung Lao, again, I love Kung Lao, but the thing is for me, I was actually kind of expecting to actually see why he wasn't in the Mortal Kombat tournament from Scorpion's Revenge. But they haven't, again, they didn't really explain it. So it's just the whole thing that it just feels so rushed. But don't get me wrong, some of the things that you do see Kung Lao and Striker do, they are kind of cool. But again, I feel like there should have been a lot more screen time with these new characters, and I know the overall runtime is very short, but they really should have like either not had both of them in there, or should have actually like made the film longer, which for me I would have loved anyway. I've kept on saying this ever since I've done my reaction video. It's with all Mortal Kombats. Personally, I feel like each film should have been longer, and that's including the new one. I feel like the new one should have had a lot more screen time, a lot more time to explain a lot of things. But you know, what we got is what we got. Now moving on to like the new on the Outworlds side as well. Again, it's just there's just so many characters that were just like they were just there just to die. Just nothing really explained. And the thing is that with a lot of the characters, they just seem to, they didn't even have any dialogue, like none whatsoever. Like you had Reiko in there, like didn't even say a single thing. You had Li Mei. If you watch my reaction video, I say Lei Mi, but no, Li Mei. Like not one bit of dialogue whatsoever. There's literally nothing from these characters. They were just in there just for like just to be killed. And again, I know that with these Mortal Kombat films, you have to kind of understand like that's like it's Mortal Kombat. That's what is going to happen. But I'm very surprised that they didn't have anything. There's no story behind them. They're just there, and these characters are so good. But yet, down to the runtime, there's just not enough time to explain. So I do understand, but yeah, again, maybe they should have just not done it so much. Especially with Baraka. Now there was this whole thing that basically was saying that Baraka was in the first movie, but now they're actually backtracking to say that that wasn't actually him. Now they Johnny Cage did actually have like a little bit of dialogue in there to actually say like, I thought I killed you in at the tournament, or I thought I killed you already. So it does show that that wasn't Baraka in Scorpion's Revenge, but this is Baraka. But again, there just wasn't. I didn't really see any point to it. Like again, they could have had used all these other characters, and they just chose not to. They just brought back a fan favorite. But I suppose with like the Takatans, because they actually have like a huge like civilization, like huge army and stuff, it kind of makes sense. But yeah, there's just a few things like that. Like Devora had a few lines given, like that was all right, but again, nothing too over the top. Now, actually going into the actual fights as well, like the things that I was mainly looking for which forward two, shall I say? And it's the same with any Mortal Kombat fan, or any fan that you want to see an action film, or a martial art film, whatever you want to say it. But basically, the fights in this, you have basically seen the fights from the trailers. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, the first fights that you actually see from the tournaments itself, like, you have 100% seen everything from that from either the green band or the red band trailer. They're in there. Like, it's done. And there was, like, this quick little montage, like, straight off, that I literally, as soon as I watched it, like, I put my hands on my head, and I couldn't believe it. It was just like, that was it? Like, are you serious? Like, I can't understand why you would have that for a Mortal Kombat film. Like, yeah, you do want to get to the fatalities, you do want to get to, like, but you also want to see the hand-to-hand combat. You want to see what they're actually doing and that. But it literally felt like, oh, there's a punch, there's another punch, kick, whatever, and then all suddenly it was like, okay, now finish him. I was like, mate, that's so quick. So quick. So, yeah, I was a little bit disappointed in that sense. But one of the things that really got me, like, it's so interesting because, like, the way that they actually done this, now, I'm going to mention about the Xrays, because the Xrays that they did in this, right at the beginning, there was tons. There was so many. Like, just before they even had, like, Raiden and Shao Kahn go and see the Elder Gods, there was so many X-rays. But then in terms of like when it actually came to the actual tournament, there was like literally none. And I'm not saying like they should have had more or anything, but I felt like the ones that they had right at the beginning, they didn't need to have so many in there. Like I'm pretty sure, just going from my first viewing, like there was one where Kung Lao actually threw his hat at a demon, and like there was one there, and I didn't understand. Like I didn't understand why it was in there, but then when you're actually looking back at it, you're like, I thought from a like first viewing, I thought, well, there's like even an X-ray for this guy. Like, buzzing, like let's carry on, let's go. I'm ready for it. But there was just nothing after that. Really, there was a few things, but again, like I just felt like even the first part, there was just too many X-rays in there. Um, Even if, again, if they just spreaded it out, it would have been so much better. So much better. Now, one of the main pointers that I want to say is like a real positive, some of the things that they actually took away from Scorpion's Revenge, now, is the gore. The gore in this one, there's nowhere near as much gore as like there was from Scorpion's Revenge. Now, if you know this channel anyway, my view of Scorpion's Revenge, I loved it. I've really enjoyed it. Again, I wish there was more time on it, but the thing that I thought the most was that there was just so much gore for like what actually did take place in that certain scenes or certain scenes throughout that film, that there was just so much gore that you're just like, that's just unnecessary. You're just not gonna see that much in that aspect. But then in this one, they really like they had a good amount. I don't think they went overboard. I don't think there was like not enough. I actually think that they actually nailed that like bang on. So that is one of the main like positives I actually want to bring away from this, is that the gore was actually like perfecto. Now, one of the other things that I want to actually mention, that obviously there was so many side stories going on in this film. You had the main thing that was going on about like obviously Shao Kahn taken over for Earthrealm. You had Kuai Liang's story, like even just against Scorpion. Then you had the Cyber Initiative. Then you had Shinnok getting their Komadokus. And then you also had the one bin as well. There was just so much, and this is why I'm saying that there should have been a two-parter. Because me personally, I feel like they could have used the Cyber Initiative in this, but used the Shinnok and the one bin and the Komadokus in a complete another story, like completely different story. It didn't need to be told in this one at all. And to be honest, like again, it's only down to the runtime, but because that you had Kuai Liang and Scorpion, you had Kuai Liang who was like really like, he was angry about what had happened to Bihan in Scorpion's Revenge, that he was after Scorpion, that literally as soon as like they came face to face, like after a very short period of time, like they were just on it kind of thing. Like they were working together, and that was that. So it was really like phenomenal to actually see. I loved the fact that you see them working together. Like I loved every single scene that when they were working together. I thought it was sick. I really enjoyed them working together, especially at the end for the one bin. I thought it was really good, but how Kuai Liang actually just changed instantly, was just like, oh, okay, like I'll take your word for it. That's fine. Like let's just work together now. Yeah, I just really wasn't impressed with how they actually done that. Like it was just, again, it was too quick. I'm actually gonna go back in time. I'm gonna go back in time, and I'm gonna mention Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm, because one of the episodes that they did, and when I was growing up as a kid, and I even watched it not too long ago, and I absolutely loved this episode, but it was when it was all about the Cyber Initiative then, with Sub-Zero losing Smoke to all them guys, to the Lin Kuei. And one of the things I really have to point out the most is Grandmaster's look, because I find the design for the Grandmaster in Defenders of the Realm compared to the Grandmaster in Battles of the Realm, I find that one is so much scarier, so much more like something to be feared in that sense. Now, I don't know whether it's just because of the nostalgia it has for me, especially that one particular episode. I love it so much. That was the one episode I watched over and over and over again as a kid. But it was just there was so much more fear that I found being put into that back then. And now, even having like Battles of the Realm, like you have all these things that they can do with him, and they literally they didn't do anything. Like even just the design, I'm not too sure if I actually really like the design in itself. It was just, I thought it was just a bit bleak, really. Like there just wasn't anything to go with it. So it was a shame, especially how they ended it. But hey ho. And also, like, the thing is with talking about the cyber initiative, like, obviously you had like Sector and Cyrex, but they literally just got destroyed at the end, and it was like you didn't really even see too much of what they were doing. And I'm gonna have to go back about Smoke actually, because I can't actually remember what they actually did with Smoke, whether he died or did he get away, or so I can't actually remember. But top review number 1 here. But anyway, I really don't understand why they needed to do that, because what I'm saying before is that they could have used the cyber initiative fighting against with Shao Kahn. Even though that the Lin Kuei are a part of Earthrealm and everything, like they're just going to be there to serve. And I think it would have been even more interesting if they did do something like that they had Scorpion coming back as well, and he was fighting for Earthrealm this time, because considering that he was fighting for Outworld last time, now he's swapped teams. You could also have Kuai Liang like trying to fight Scorpion, but then there's times like Raiden's talking to him, like just explaining stuff. He's going down the same kind of path that Scorpion was going down, so like Raiden is doing the exact same thing to Kuai Liang that he did for Scorpion. So there's all that things that they could have done again, but they just didn't, and it is such a shame, because there's just so many things that they could have like really stretched out and just gone further with. Any final things that I really like to actually say about this film? Now, again, because I'm a Mortal Kombat fan, I know the story in and out. I've known different stories that they've provided, and I will say that I did enjoy this, but I think it's only because of the story that was following. But I will be honest, the last 15 minutes was literally a completely different movie. It just didn't flow very well, and like this whole point of this film was basically like to end the whole Mortal Kombat tournaments. Like this was going to be it, and then how they actually came back and then basically was like, oh, like Shao Kahn is not here, like you defeated him, but like he's gone, so what's going to happen now? And it's like, well, we'll just be ready, kind of thing. And it's like, well, surely the Elder Gods should be able to now like say, well, no, there's not going to be another Mortal Kombat tournament because you guys won. You even went the extra mile and beat the one being. So really, they should really be stepping up into this point. And if anything, yeah, like if it falls down to the point that Shao Kahn is actually going to be like coming back, then surely if the Elder Gods don't do anything, then yeah, they should be able to outright just kill him. There shouldn't be any tournament or anything like that. It should be over and done with now. I know, like, if like you're only going by from like the recent live action movie, the 2021 movie that they've like, there was that particular scene where Shang Tsung says to Melina that the Elder Gods have grown. Well, they just don't care. I can't remember it word for word. It's been a while since I've seen it, but basically he was like, like they didn't win all tournaments by playing it safe. I think like that is true, but at the same time, like now they've done this, like this is the story that they've done for Battle of the Realms. They can't now just have, oh well, Shao Kahn's back again and he's gonna have like another Mortal Kombat tournament, or he's just gonna invade Earthrealm. Like that can't be done. I'm sorry, like that's just boring. It's so boring. Like they can't do that again. But yeah, we'll just crack on, see what the next Mortal Kombat installment is going to be. Whether they will do Mortal Kombat Legends, with an overall review. Now though, now I'm not actually going to do numbers anymore, guys. Like because I find like even when I was watching back at some of my reviews, I just feel like it's a bit contradicting. So now I'm actually just going to do a simple green, amber, red. So you can pretty much like understand where I'm going to be coming from. But with this, I'm going to say, if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, it's a green light. Go and watch it, because even some of the fatalities in this, like, they are pretty good. I actually didn't mention this, but like, I know that I mentioned about like Striker and Kung Lao actually only being in there because, like, just to basically die. But their fatalities in this were actually, they were good, I thought they were actually really like, damn, like that's gotta hurt. But yeah, pretty much everything that I mentioned in my reactions video is exactly what happened. Shang Tsung versus Striker, what do you think is going to happen, seriously? And Kung Lao being in there, Kung Lao is literally just in Mortal Kombat just to die. They literally wrote Kung Lao to die, which is such a shame. I don't want him to die. I mentioned it in my Max Hunger video for Kung Lao that I hope he didn't die, but ayo, never mind. But yeah, so yeah, if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, go and watch it. If you're not, you don't really know too much about it or anything, I would say it's an amber, like, because it is such a hit and miss. I could see, because there was points in this film I was getting a bit bored as well. So yeah, just take it with a pinch of salt, guys. But anyway, that is my overall review for Mortal Kombat. Now, I did actually film my reaction to this as well. Now, I am going to take some time to actually edit that one, and I will come back to you with it. And as well, I may actually go and watch it again at some point anyway. But I'll say at some point, I definitely will, because I've got friends that want to watch it, so I'll be ended up watching it with them as well, my boys. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Like, did you enjoy this film? Did you not? Did you think it could have been better? If so, what would you have changed? Yeah, like, do you agree with my review? Do you think I'm being too harsh? To be fair, I'm not actually being too harsh. I love Mortal Kombat as much as anything. I don't feel I'm being too harsh. But yeah, overall as well. Overall, that's not what I wanted to say. Man, I'm feeling ill. But what I was going to say is that I am actually doing a giveaway for this Mortal Kombat Blood and Thunder issue 1 comic done by Malibu in the early 90s. If it is something that you are interested in, all you have to do is simply subscribe to my channel, turn on the notifications bell, then just go over to my giveaway video and comment the word done. Because once we get to the 1,000 subscriber mark, I will just be doing a random comment select on that video to select the winner. So I wish you the best of luck, guys. If you love Mortal Kombat just as much as me, then I'll catch you for the next one. Peace.